welcome to Night and
Yo,
Day
yo, yo.
Metaphysics.
I'm
Night
your
and Day
host,
Metaphysics.
Isaiah Curry.
I'm your host, J.R. Curry. Yeah, about to take this up a level real quick.
Take this up a couple notches.
So we
What?
about to get into the conspiracy of hip hop and rock and roll and how it was infiltrated. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Basically, to put new faces on our music, basically. Um, you
Like
see,
what they used to do.
yeah, right. So you'll see Elvis, yup, Eminem. Even though they got skills, they do got the
Yeah,
skills.
they got skills, no
So,
doubt.
so, so now it's been a debate going around. Rather, you know what I'm saying? I seen on Joe Budden's podcast, brother Umar on there that went viral about Eminem being the best in hip hop, and Umar going off basically saying that's disrespectful to the ancestors and to the Africans, and what he
Right.
said, nobody Caucasian could never be better than anyone at our own music and stuff like that. So brother Hemmitt was breaking it down as um like the record companies basically like using black writers and all that, like basically um to basically back these artists like Elvis, um starting off with rock and roll. And
There was
you all hear a lot about the chatter about Little Richard saying Elvis took some of his music, Chuck Berry. So him and break it down from that standpoint, and basically saying like when the record companies came along and got a hold of it, that's when the money and the millions of dollars start getting involved. Um, it became more about a business and not even the music anymore. So now it left lanes open for other people to come along and, you know what I'm saying, and adopt the culture and all that.
right.
Yep. So they took it, commercialized it. We already know what they did. Commercialized it, used it to push all those damn name brands. You know what I'm saying? So all right, we're gonna get
Yeah,
into
yeah. Little Richard, nobody never even denied that Little
Zany.
Richard was the originator.
right.
I think everybody pretty much agreed that he was the originator.
Yeah,
Yep.
right. So we're gonna get into this video real quick. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Let's get into this real quick. Please, John up. Let's get it going on. All right.
Yeah, I would like to open up with the first question. I would like for you to deal with the rappers and what's going on with the Eminem situation. There's a lot of things, a lot of people talking about how he is now taking over the rap world and still in the limelight from the people who created this hip hop thing.
Well, it is a ritual. It is a ritual that started from jazz to rock and roll, which was rock and roll was a black thing. Then by the 70s, they cut it off and made it rock and made it exclusively white. Because if you'd have carried rock and roll, if you just they did the history, you'd understand that rock and roll was basically this newfound type of music that was introduced to white people coming out of R&B, coming out of the blues, coming out of rhythmic patterns of jazz. And so that rock and roll has a history to it. But basically being a black phenomenon. So by the 1970s, they had to cut the rock and roll off and started calling it rock. And that is to basically steal, you see, the particular aspect. Now, the first thing that they did was, if the rock and roll of the 1960s on back to 1955, when so-called Elvis first recorded his little stuff, you see what I'm saying, and started stealing this stuff, was still a black sound. It wasn't until Jimi Hendrix came up and made a new sound, which was nothing but a new sound of a blues fusion, and made a new sound that they say, okay, what we will do is we will adopt this sound because we don't have a lot of black people doing this particular sound. It was new. Before Jimi Hendrix, you didn't have the rock and roll that you have now, or the rock. So Jimi Hendrix, for all intents and purposes, is the inventor of rock. So they said, now we got a new pioneer, Jimi Hendrix, that has created a new form of rock and roll, which is nothing but a new form of the blues. They said because we don't have a lot of blacks doing it, we can focus on this type of sound that would be annexed from the original R&B sound and what came to be the rock and roll, which still has black all through it. And we can claim this one unique sound because only one black person was producing this type of sound. And as a result, they went ahead and basically, in so many words, degraded Jimi Hendrix sound to make the genre, or whatever they call it, of this rock that would be the standard rock for the next 20 years, until the government had to even come and shut that down and say, now you white folks sing country. Because the hard rock and roll that was dealt from the 70s and even the 80s, now most of the stuff that they're dealing with is country. They'll even have, I'm going to still get to the rap, but you got to set this format.
Right,
So they'll have a white girl that travels with Michael Jackson, Cheryl Lee Crow, who was doing a little funky stuff, and she comes in with a midway pop song, All I Want to Do Is Have Some Fun, and it's semi-funky, semi-bluegrass or whatever. And from that, it kept pushing it until they got a country sound out of her stuff, as well as making it to the point that they want Garth Brooks and the Dixie Chicks and all these people dealing with the whole country thing because they want to phase out that form of rock and roll. Now, going back, they stole Jimi Hendrix sound, usurped it, turned it into something of their own, cut off the word rock and roll. That's a historical word. You don't use that when you use the word rock. So this means white people would think that rock was invented by white people. It was certainly different than soul and funk and R&B, but still yet it was a sound. It was a sound that was introduced by Jimi Hendrix. So after they killed him, you see, after they killed him, they stole this black art form and degraded it.
Right. So basically, you know what I mean? He just basically, talking about how other cultures got introduced to the black sound. We're gonna get into another part of this too, because I was trying to edit the video the best I can and shit. So
it looked like that's always been the play, to whitewash everything. I mean, they do that with all forms of history. That's why we came across that Russian icons book. You see how they, you know what I mean? They buried the truth under everything that's whitewashed. So
Right. They
they've been using these tactics. It's the same
took some
stuff.
original paintings and created
Yeah.
Michelangelo niggas created all that, the blonde hair and blue eye figure that everybody worship.
Yeah, same thing with the inventions. They just took the credit for all the inventions. They took the credit for all the food.
Mm-hmm.
Even down to the Colonel's recipe, man. Even down
Right.
to baked macaroni and cheese that they
Ancient
accredited in
mama
Thomas
pancakes. You know
Jefferson.
what I'm saying?
Right. They accredited
Yeah.
in pancakes. They literally accredited in pancakes. You know what I mean? To the Pearl Mill factory now. They took
Yeah.
Aunt
All right.
Jemima off. You know what I'm saying? So she ain't even on a pancake joint anymore. So that image of pancakes is done.
It's done.
You know what I mean? If you go on freaking Wikipedia, they'll tell you that baked macaroni and cheese comes from Thomas Jefferson.
So pretty
When in
much
fact it was from one of
whitewashing.
his servants that came up with the recipe, that he paid for them to go to some type of cooking school, culinary school in France. And you could look this up. This is all facts, all receipt. It's all receipts. And the thing is, they take the not the blame, but they take the credit for anything that comes out of their household, even though they didn't create it themselves. So since it came out of Thomas Jefferson's household, that means that he created macaroni and cheese, but it actually
Yeah,
wasn't him.
recipe.
It was one of his servants who's actually one of his family members. Might have been one of his kids or nephews or something like that. Of course, he was half black and half white because a lot of that was going on in Thomas Jefferson's household.
Right. So basically, just whitewash everything. I mean, they kind of like doing it with hip hop and pop.
Right.
They whitewashing hip hop because they taking it mainstream. I mean, in order to to satisfy the corporations, they they push all their products and brands and shit through these celebrity niggas.
Well, that's the same. Well,
I
the
mean,
brands
so,
is the Thomas Jeffersons. It is the Master Plantation.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So we still talking about the same thing here.
Yep.
It's no different than the macaroni and cheese, and then credit it to Thomas Jefferson instead of one of the slaves, or the Colonel Sanders 11 spices, herbs and spices recipe. You know damn well Colonel ain't come up with that recipe
All right.
himself. Let's be real now. Some Native American from Kentucky came up with that.
Right. Just like hip hop started, you know what I mean? Right in the smack dead in the middle of the hood.
Right.
That ain't come out. That ain't come out. Hip hop ain't come out of the hoods of Africa and all that shit.
Nah, it came
That
out
shit
of the
came
hoods
out the hoods.
of New York.
Yeah, you know what I mean? That shit came out in the ghettos of America.
Mm-hmm.
And hip hop united the whole damn world. You know what I'm
The
saying?
South Bronx.
Just
the
as much
South Bronx.
just as much as religion did.
Mm-hmm.
Hip hop brought more people together probably than religion did. Tell you the truth. On a global scale.
Right.
Yep.
Because you got people in China singing Wu-Tang Clan,
Exactly.
as well as the hoods in America, as well as the hoods in England. All area, like, I just had to name Wu-Tang Clan because they are an international group, and actually they brought some type of consciousness to the hip hop. You know what I mean?
5%ers.
Yeah, they brought some type of consciousness. They was out there before it just turned all gangster rap. See, they came out on, you know what I mean, using the metaphysics of the ancient Chinese, you know what I mean, form of karate and mystery schools, and incorporated it into hip hop. That's actually genius.
Yeah. That's the RZA, the Abbott.
Right. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's actually on another level right there.
So we know hip hop is like, you know what I mean? So I don't consider Eminem being the biggest in hip hop though. So I mean, and I don't consider him being the best in hip hop. I mean, we know he can rap, we know he got skills, but I don't feel like he the
There's
best.
no such thing as the biggest in hip hop. There's only eras.
Yeah, the best or whatever. Yeah,
He ain't the best neither.
nah,
There ain't no best. Think about it. It boils down to preference.
Yeah, it's all opinion
and what you relate to.
Right.
There ain't no best.
Right.
I mean, a suburban white kid who grew up, you know what I mean, in suburban areas, but frequently visited the city and mixed with, you know, people from the city, they would love Eminem. They would think Eminem is the best thing since sliced bread because he sort of represents them. So they gonna say he's the best. You know what I mean? Niggas who book bag niggas, they probably gonna be like, oh, Rakim is the best.
Right.
Or you know what I mean? Or Big Daddy Kane. Street niggas who grew up in the street, they be like, Cool G Rap is the best. You know what I mean? It's just all.
Yeah, or Big Daddy Kane. It just depends on preference. Yeah, everything is opinionated at this in hip hop.
That's how I feel about that.
I feel like I got my best that I like more than any other artist, any other rapper. Not to take nothing away, it just depends on, you know what I'm saying, what type of hip hop style you adopted. Whether it's big backpack rapper, a gangster rap, you know what I'm saying? It depends on your preference. You know what I'm saying? Mine's is a little bit more, you know what I'm saying, Cool G rap type of Beanie C. You know what I mean? Like, that's my type of rap right there. You know what I'm saying? Like Jadakiss, shit like that. Wu-Tang, you know what I mean? Everybody got their own preference of who they like and who they best are.
Right.
So when they talk that top five, you name your top five best, that people's top five best change all the time.
But I understand the context of what Brother Bobby was saying, like in the one segment he did about Eminem. That was during the era where Eminem was he was killing it during that time. That's when the movie came out, all that.
Yeah.
So that was during the time where, you know what I mean, he was at his height of his career. So people was saying he was the best.
Right.
Because people only say who the media says who's the best. Right now, everybody says Drake is the best because the media says Drake is the best.
Yeah.
He's the biggest right now when it comes to hip hop. Drake. And he ain't even that tough. Nigga don't even write his own lyrics. He ain't even that tough. Yeah, his lyrics, his lyricism ain't even that tough.
Right. At least the nigga Eminem.
The concept of his songs that aren't even that deep. Just think about it. During the Tupac era, he was known for how deep and versatile he was when it came to doing that street poetry type shit. Like that was another level. You know what I'm saying? That was something that actually came from a nigga heart. And then the entertainer and the lyricism of Biggie. You know what I mean? You can understand how niggas could say he was the best in that era. Or if you want to take it back to Nas, you know what I mean? With the albums that he did, Illmatic and I Am, just those two.
Yeah.
Just those two Johns alone.
Yeah, it's different eras of
right. It's different eras.
So you will put like Big Daddy Kane, Rakim, KRS-One, that era. You know what I'm saying? Right. The next era will be like Nas, Jay-Z, DMX. Like the next era is like that's how you gotta basically break it down. Right. It depends on what era you from. So I see a lot of old school rappers name they top five be like, I mean, LL or Curtis Blow and who else? What's that? The Furious Five and or like, you know what I mean? They be naming that type of because that's the era they from. So you might get the old school niggas, you ask them they top five, it's probably not gonna be, you know what I mean? You have to ask them your top five 90s rappers.
Yeah.
Or your top five 80s rappers. You know
what I was saying was all those different eras had something like tough, like whether it was lyricism or or
Yeah.
rather it was like street poetry or conscious stuff. This Drake era ain't got shit, bro. Like it's like artificial stuff.
Right.
It's like it's no different than a Milli Vanilli type of era. Like the dude don't even really write his own stuff, and it's like he's like a studio rapper. It's not
He an AI rapping ass nigga, ain't he?
right,
He's
right. And they saying
AI
that he's the best right now, and I'm trying to understand how compared to eras, where niggas literally had to write their own rhymes and
See,
come with their own
yeah,
style.
it might be a lot more people in this era saying he the best. That's from his his era. So that, a nigga from the 90s ain't gonna say Drake.
Yeah, but this era ain't got no substance. Is what
That's
I'm
why
saying.
you have to break it down for every decade. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like 80, your top 5 80s rappers, top 5 90s rappers, top 5 early 2000 rappers, top 5 you know what I'm saying, teen rappers.
But this is a prime example of what happens when you water something down. So this
Yeah.
is heading into metaphysics, and you see now that's how they water stuff down. Because when it comes to stuff like hip hop and expression and lyricism, that's the highest form of spirituality right there. So when they start watering that down, that's when they start watering your soul down, and they start with people like Drake and all them individuals.
And the sound waves change. That's
Right, the
another
sound
thing.
waves complete, the
Sound
808s and all
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
sound waves change. Also, it does, you know what I mean? When they slow the music down, that's like heavy density right there. So
yeah, and they
yeah,
screwed and chopped us.
your energy slows down with it. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Y'all realize they screwed and chopped us and then
yeah,
threw us in the auto tune, right? Threw us in the machine, right? Now they drugged us up. Now we all mumbling. Y'all see
mumble
what they
rap.
doing to the soul? Like you gotta understand, hip hop is an expression directly from the soul that's being taught from the soul. Like when these rappers like Rakim and Big Daddy Kane and KRS-One and Cool G Rap and Nas, you know what I mean? Niggas like even niggas like Jay-Z and all them niggas, when them niggas like write they shit, it's coming from the soul. So when you corrupt that, when you water that down, bro,
Yeah,
that's what screws you over.
that's why the
That's what
best
screws you over.
rappers,
That's what screws society over. It actually ruins society.
best rappers are the ones that's writing their own shit.
Right.
That written their own shit. Um, Eminem definitely a nigga that wrote his own shit. So
Oh yeah,
he
I
he
ain't
can
even
rap.
talking about M.
He can
M's
rap.
definitely up there as far as
Yeah,
lyricism. Yeah, I can't even say nothing bad about
yeah.
M for real as far as lyricism.
He
He take
pushed the
that like
envelope.
he really
Yeah.
take this shit serious. You know what I'm saying? You could tell he invests a lot of time into his craft and what he do. So we
Mhm.
can't even take that from me.
Nah, no.
Can't even take it from me. But now it's starting to get really watered down with this commercial and mumble. It's just being watered down, and it's just to sell products now. And the products that they selling is horrendous. Cause they just selling a bunch of drugs,
Drug and, high
sex,
sex. Yup.
alcohol.
Yup.
They just selling drugs, sex, and alcohol, and nothing else. There's
That's
no
what hip
more.
hop
There's no
turned.
more substance. Nothing to get you to the next level of thought or get you to
Oh,
the next level of advancement. Everything is to keep you here drunk, high, consumerism, buying the latest car, buying the latest shoes, buying the latest bags, buying the latest this, the latest that,
right,
the latest phone, the latest this. You bragging about that's all this shit is about now. It's completely
right.
commercialized. So that's not even it's fabricated. There's no more spirituality left in the hip hop no more.
Yeah, it's still around, but it's just the
I'm talking
mainstream.
about the mainstream
Yeah,
stuff.
the
That's what's
mainstream is
getting to
just tricky.
everybody.
Yeah, the mainstream is what's tricky.
Right.
But you still got people that's doing real hip hop out here that's still keeping that
Oh,
energy
definitely.
going.
Oh,
Um,
definitely.
and it's probably more people that's keeping that real hip hop energy going than mainstream. Mainstream is a small window of people. You know what I'm saying? That's a
They
real
just
small
got big
niche.
marketing dollars.
Yeah, that's it. It's a small
They got
niche
big marketing dollars
compared to
for
the grand scheme of hip hop people that's put that really, you know what I mean, still doing their craft. It's more hip hop people still than the mainstream. It's always going to be that way.
And you know what it is? But
You know what I'm
you know what
saying?
it is though? Like the general public is more influenced by that small population of people with the marketing dollars, of the
Yep.
celebrities in the industry. That's
Yep.
why, like, it's a lot of people out here who's doing a thing, hip hop as far as taking it back to the essence. It's a lot you can name. Like you said, there's more people keep trying to keep it to the essence than not out here. It really is. It's a lot of people rapping out here. It's a lot of people singing. But the only people that's getting attention by the general public, the general population, are the ones who got the marketing dollars to reach the general population. They're the only ones that's being seen.
Yep.
The algorithm bury everybody else. And then people only follow the hype. And it's crazy because what's the name told you back in the 80s, don't believe the hype.
Public
You know what I
Enemy.
mean?
Yep.
Yeah. Public Enemy told you in the 80s and the 90s, don't believe the hype.
Told you 911 is a joke in your
Joke
town.
in your town, right? You think they was bullshitting when they made those songs?
That was before Flav went commercial. Love, well, yeah, I mean with love and hip hop and all. Well, Flavor of Love, not Love
Right.
of Hip Hop. The Flavor of Love.
Flavor of Love.
Reality
Elvis
TV show.
was a hero to most, but he
We understand that.
What we talking about here? Ain't that what Brother Bobby is saying? So the consciousness was in the rap, even the commercialized rap. That was commercialized around that time. You heard that on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened? Who came in and changed up the format? Did it happen in the West Coast? Did it happen with Jerry Heller and his hand in the cookie jar? Is that when hip hop started to be weaponized?
Yeah.
I call Eazy-E and Jerry Heller's hand in the cookie jar.
Yeah, it started like but they've been people putting money in the game since. You know what I mean, that's how all those hits in the 80s got big. They was definitely putting marketing dollars. Of course, it was Jewish white men that put marketing dollars behind hip hop. Yep. Yep. So, and they always been behind the music industry, Atlantic Records, all that stuff. All that was, I mean, Jewish owned record companies and stuff. They always
Jerry Heller and Eazy-E's hand in the cookie jar.
Jerry Heller is the investor behind getting gangster rap popular. With niggas like Jerry Heller.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And Jimmy Iovine's and all them, because they all Jewish. They all Jewish. So they the ones that had the marketing dollars to put behind hip hop. Russell Simmons.
Oh, they made it commercialized.
Yeah.
We know investors came in. We know the big investors came in.
The Lee York Cohens and all them niggas.
The Rockefellers.
Yeah, Rockefellers. Yup, all that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Investing in the hip hop. They ain't want to mess with it first until it became, a success.
Right. And then they say, oh, that could be a great targeting weapon right there. Come on, boys. Let's invest in this. We get commercials. We could go worldwide. Commercials, everything.
Yup.
Hey, man.
We could turn you into a franchise.
Right.
Lunch boxes.
Right. Book bags.
Cereal boxes with your face on there.
Alcohol.
Promising them in the world.
Promising them world. Yeah. Yeah.
Yo.
Drugs, whiskey, all you want.
Yep. So that's what it is, man.
Weed, 40s, Fetty.
Yep.
Perks, guns, drugs,
all
sex, all you want.
All in the music, yep.
Yep.
But it's a small window. There's a small window of people that's doing that compared to the mass of people that's doing
Brag
hip-hop.
about prison time. Brag about having time in prison. Serving time in prison. All that in the music. Brag about being prostitute. Brag about the stripper pole.
Yep, that's what we came to.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, straight up destroyed. But you know what? It's even wisdom even in that. Even in the destruction of hip hop. It just goes to show you, even that's not even supposed to be forever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because you got to think about it. Seed ain't, that ain't nothing but a seed in a plant and flourished. Hip hop flourished now. After 50 years, it's going back to the earth. It's like a plant. It's no different than a plant or a flower. Hip hop flower. Yeah. I think it bloomed at its height in the early 2000s, and that's when it started to decline after that. You know what I'm saying? I think the Rakim era and all that, I think that's when it sprouted. That's when it sprouted. It still wasn't a full-grown plant yet or a full-grown flower yet.
Tree.
Yeah. All right.
Yep. So now we starting this. Now we see the fruits of that tree.
Mm-hmm. Well, the fruits, we've been seeing that. Now the fruits are starting to rot, fall off the tree. The leaves are starting to fall off the tree. And it's going to go back underground. That's why the underground is always going to be popping.
Yep.
That's where it's always going to live, on the underground. Hip-hop will never make it be alive on the mainstream. Only on the underground. Because real, true hip-hop represents the underworld.
Exactly. That's where
why we talk
metaphor
about
comes from.
It's from the soul, and the soul represents the underworld.
Yeah, hip-hop is metaphysics because
hip-hop is just straight metaphysics, y'all.
Metaphors are things that mirror other things.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So that's the spirit world. You know what I mean? This world is a mirror to the spirit world. So the metaphors that's in hip-hop, that has you thinking to your highest potential. And you got to think about brothers. Some brothers be spitting metaphor after metaphor after metaphor. Like the battle rappers, the power, man, they able to write the level they write and memorize it.
Yeah, they could apply those same concepts to life, period, and spirituality.
Right.
And advancing of the mind. I mean, you can tell their minds are already advanced to think of those type of metaphoric expressions and similes and all that. So if you take that same mind and you apply it to your spirituality, apply it to your life, your everyday life, you know what I mean, and actually develop a scientific mind, yeah, man, you'll be a powerful individual. You'll be a powerful individual.
Facts.
And some of these niggas did that. Some of these hip hop niggas did that.
Yeah,
they
applied.
Took it to that level. Yeah, they took it. You know what I mean? I would say the Wu-Tang is one of them niggas that, like, as far as the whole group. Yeah. You know what I mean? Not even you can't just say just individuals, the whole group. You know what I'm saying? You can say that. Niggas like Nas, niggas like Jay-Z, like they took what they, you know what I mean, the metaphors and all that, and they actually applied it to their lives, and they went with it. They went with it. Rather they was part of the psyop or not, which they were. But then again, everything is part of the psyop. Everything is a conspiracy to grow our souls, our spirits, so we can evolve spiritually, not physically, not I ain't talking about no Darwin shit. I'm talking about a spiritual Darwin type of theory. Spiritual, not coming from monkeys, but your consciousness evolving. Not talking about physicality. Talking about your consciousness evolving. And that's what this is all really about, because the vessel was going to die anyway. So the vessel is what carries the lyrics, the craft, the metaphors, the beats, the music, the ideas. It's all part of the universe, and your soul is the universe. You know what I'm saying? Your soul is the universe. All of it. So we're supposed to have this decline. Nothing is really bad in itself. It's just our perception as humans. We think things are bad. It's not bad that they let people like Eminem or Elvis and all that. Those things are still there just to teach us something. All those things happen still there to teach us something. And it's basically what it is just showing us a mirror of ourselves, of our souls. Because synthetic things exist because we have synthetic thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Now you would say, all right, a person like Drake or Eminem or Milli Vanilli, you know what I mean? They ain't the original, so they seem like, you know, they synthetic. But they still derived from the original. Whether you say they synthetic or not, it's still a copy of something that was already a foundation. So at the end, it don't even matter. So it's the same. It goes back to the same higher argument. Well, if God created everything, then where did the devil come from? You see how it all leads back to that? It's the same thing with this shit. All right, if the black man created jazz and rock and roll and hip hop, then where did Elvis come from? You know what I mean? Where did Eminem come from? Like, it's still the same argument. And the thing is, we humans we're the biggest hypocrites of all. Even Hemmitt, even us. Because we ain't the original copies, we're human. Let us create man in our image. So we ain't the original either. As a human, you ain't original. What the fuck? You ain't original. We ain't original. This ain't the real world. This ain't the... If you're in a world where things can die and pass away, that's not the real reality. The real reality, nothing dies. It's impossible because eternity is eternity. And consciousness is consciousness. So if you're in a realm where something dies, then you must be asleep. So all the synthetic shit is just all the synthetic shit that we think of. We think about organic shit and we think about synthetic shit. So it's the same thing with that. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? When people say, oh, Elvis ain't the original. Shit, there's nothing that's the original on Earth. Because everything we create here is coming from somewhere else anyway. Because even if you're a songwriter or anything like that, or you make beats or you produce, whatever you do, when you really doing it, it's like it's not even coming from you. It's coming from another place through you. It's not even coming from you. It's coming through you. From somewhere else. It's like you're getting a channel from somewhere else. And you are, because your body is just being used as a vessel. I don't give a fuck what color the skin is of your body. Because if you rip that damn skin off, everybody look the same. Bloody red and pink. I don't give a fuck how black you are. I don't give a fuck how white you are. You rip that top layer of skin off, you put that motherfucker in a lion's cage, a hungry lion or a bear and shit. Whether they black or white, put their asses in there and see what color they turn after that bear get to their ass or after that lion get to their ass. You know what I'm saying? Wait, what color they gonna be then? Everybody gonna be the same color, ripped up and looking bloody.
Yep.
Everybody. So We're
Yellow
all
co-ed.
copies here. So there ain't no original. It ain't no original. You know what I'm saying? As far as what anything human, because it's all coming from another place, and that other place is where the original energy lies at. So if the original energy lies there, and it's just coming here to go through these vessels, then these vessels ain't even. We're all Eminems here. We're all Elvises. Every human on this planet is a goddamn Elvis, or Eminem, or a Milli Vanilli. Think about it. See, this is how you gotta take the shit that was taught before by the elders before and take it to a higher level now. Now we gotta take this shit higher. We even gotta take this shit higher than what Hemmitt did, all the niggas in the conscious community, everybody, we gotta take this shit to another level now. We gotta take it up another notch. Because we all Eminems, man. We all Elvises. The human ain't the original. So when a black human talk like we the originals, we still ain't the originals. A black human ain't the originals. Human ain't the original. We're the original inhabitants of this land. Humans ain't the original inhabitants of this land. Yeah, we gotta take this shit up another notch. Yeah. Earth is going through a transition, so we must transition with it. We gotta take this shit. Everything is us. Everything is us. Everything is us. You gotta think about it. Everything is coming out of our consciousness. So even these physical vessels that we in were developed from a mind or a thought from another being from another world. That's why we were made in the image of something. So we're all clones and we all Elvises and we all this shit that's happening here that we judge every day and we look at as evil is all a part of our own consciousness. So everything we judge and say that's evil, we only talking about ourselves because everything is a mirror. Because what is a copy? A copy is a mirror. A copy in the image, making an image of likeness. When you look in the image, you see the image of whatever made you. Still a copy. We all they clone Tyrone. We all clones. Every human is a clone. Every human is a clone / avatar. All the metaphysics point towards that. So I want to know who's not. No one is the original here. So I guess it don't even matter as far as what the conspiracies are about, because the conspiracies are there just to teach us about ourselves, because this is just a mirror world to learn about our own selves. Because we all here searching, soul searching. Niggas looking for their twin flame, but your twin flame is actually you. It's just a higher version of you. People's looking for their twin flame in humans. I don't know why. I don't know where that came from, but the original, if you look up, if you know what the ancients, when they talked about twin flames, they was never talking about another human. Shoot, their mindset was like, you gay if you weren't about with another human, or if you're going after another human instead of your soul. They considered that homosexuality. Like, you following behind another human, looking for your twin flame, when you're supposed to be, your twin flame is within you. That's the highest level of homosexuality, spiritual wise. Is you running after another man. idol worshiping, celebrity worshiping, or relationship work, romance. Romance is one of the biggest traps. Romance is one of the biggest fucking traps on this planet. Spirituality. When it comes to spirituality, one of the biggest traps is fucking romance. It's terrible. Because you're really supposed to be chasing after your own inner soul, not after some rundown nigga in the street or some rundown hoe at the strip club. Talking about that's my twin flame, only if he get his life together. Get the Nah. In spiritual terms, that's homosexuality because you're chasing after another man, another womb man. You chasing after another womb man. Womb, the womb. We're inside of a womb, man. All of us, mankind is in a womb. This earth is metaphysically a womb. So, womb man. So when you're chasing after another womb man, spiritually you're a homo. Spiritually you're a homo. Because you're chasing after another man. And your idol worshiping, your adultery, all of that applies spiritually when your identity melt into someone else. Because you're running after some rundown nigga or some rundown hoe. That is not your twin flame. That is not your twin flame. None of these dusty niggas or dusty hoes out here is your twin flame. You are your twin flame. That's why we all run into these traps running behind dusty hoes and dusty niggas. And it's our own soul putting us through the abuse because your own soul is waiting for you to come back home. Like, yo, I'm your twin flame. Like you said, JR, them niggas gotta sit with themselves. Niggas gotta sit with themselves to get to this level of advancement. Because you gotta take that scripture shit and take it up to a higher level. You gotta take this hip hop shit, take it up to a higher level. All the shit that the elders taught, you know what I mean? Take that shit to a higher level of understanding. You running behind another man. And when I say man, I'm just talking about mankind, man and woman. You running behind another individual when you really should be focusing on the inner you. F all these people out here. Stop focus. Your twin flame is not out there. Your twin flame ain't on Instagram. It ain't out there at church. Your twin flame ain't at church. Your twin flame ain't at that Beyonce concert. Your twin flame is not about to take you out to dinner tonight. All that is spiritual homosexuality. That's all that is. Because you're running after another mother. And the celebrity worship is still another form of spiritual. Another form of spiritual homosexuality is running behind. That's my idol. Oh my God, I'm a barb. So you just going to disregard the inner you? You ain't going to take care and cultivate that? You're just going to just say, fuck me. You know what I mean? Fuck the inner me. I'm a barb. You're going to label your twin flame a barb or what's the other shit? Beehive? What's the beehive? Or the Cardi? What's the cardigan? What's their motherfucker's name? So all that, you're neglecting your inner self. Your inner self is your twin flame, and that's what you neglecting. Your husband at home. And that's, you realize when it says the kingdom of heaven is within you. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Christ is in you. So all that shit's, God's in you, Christ is in you, the kingdom of heaven is in you, your body is the temple. So just Put two and two together. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, and love and your neighbor, you know what I mean? And love your neighbor as yourself. So your neighbor is God too, Christ too. That's inside. And what's inside of your neighbor's temple? Their twin flame. What's inside of your temple? So those people that be saying, I'm married to Christ, they actually got it right, but they don't understand what they saying. They don't understand what they saying. When they say, I'm married to Jesus, they know you just married to going to church when you're supposed to be in church and when you're supposed to do the you know what I mean, the youth service and all this other services, and that's the Jesus you talking about. But if they was really on a higher consciousness, the Jesus they would be talking about their own inner twin flame. They own Christ. Everybody's supposed to have their own personal relationship with God, right? Well, that starts from the inside, not the outside. It ain't in no church building. It ain't in the sky. It ain't out in the ocean. It ain't in no meetings or none of that. It's inside of you. Your lover, you know who you're supposed to get married to? Yourself. Actually, Dennis Rodman had that shit right metaphysically. It looked weird as a human, but spiritually, he had it right. Because your own body is the church. Your own body is the church. Consciously, inside of your body is the church. So the inside of you, that voice that you hear inside of you, that voice that you hear inside of you is your twin flame or your bride. That you're going to walk up the aisle, which is basically up your chakra system, into the pineal gland, where the observer or the pastor or the reverend is going to unite your divine masculine and your divine feminine together and marry your divine feminine and your divine masculine in your pineal gland, and then y'all both rise to the top as one to the crown chakra, to the day of rest. So you're looking for a wife, you're looking for a husband. All that shit is just ritual, human ritual. Human ritual that ain't gonna mean shit. None of that shit means anything. Sorry to tell y'all. I mean, somebody gotta tell y'all the truth. All this weddings and getting married, all this is just demonstrating some shit that's going on inside of you spiritually. Humans are just role playing, y'all. We all just down here role playing. We're just vessels that's being used to demonstrate something that's going on spiritually on a spiritual level. So that's why it's not good to take this shit too serious down here. You ain't gonna find your twin flame at the club. You ain't gonna find your twin flame, you know what I'm saying, at the Starbucks or at the grocery store. You ain't gonna find your twin flame on a dating app or Instagram. All right? There's only one place you're gonna find your soulmate, and that's in you. You ain't gonna find them nowhere else. You ain't gonna find them. Sorry, y'all. I know it's probably putting a damper, but I still want to experience love. The love that you feeling for somebody else is really your soul loving yourself. It's just confused. It's confused where the love is coming from. And there's nothing wrong with that love neither, feeling love from another being, but y'all gotta know who y'all are first. Before you gotta realize you ain't really married to these. This is role playing on earth, y'all. This is not what we're gonna be judged by. We ain't gonna be judged by how our marriages were on earth. We being judged by how our divine masculine and our divine feminine, how that's gonna be getting married and intertwining within us. And I ain't saying that y'all can't still do the rituals and role play and go get your little wedding dress and nigga go get his suit and y'all do all this and do all that. You can still do that, but just know that it's role playing. And if it don't work out, who gives a fuck? It's role playing. That's not your real husband or your real wife anyway. Sorry, it's not. You're not going to be judged on that. This is an esoteric thing. It's an esoteric thing. It's all about our consciousness growing and learning and adapting to the real world where nothing dies. This is preparing us for a spiritual world that don't fade away. This is like training wheels or like a video game teaching you how your soul operates in the real, in actual reality. In the different channels that it goes through, in the different forms of growth that it goes through, different stages of growth that it goes through. This is your soul cultivating itself. What your soul do is splits itself up and then look for itself. Your soul is one, so you're born married already. Everybody's born married to their divine opposite, their divine masculine, their divine feminine. You split, half of you stay inside the spirit realm, and the other half of you come down into the physical realm. So your twin flame that you're looking for is that soul split that happened before you got down here. And a representation of the soul splitting is the yin and the yang. If you look at the yin and the yang sign, that's your soul splitting up in two. One goes down, one goes up. And it creates a vortex. And what's inside that vortex, that's where you get Earth. Earth is inside of that vortex. The vortex is created through what? The spiritual splitting from the physical, splitting from the spiritual. Physical going down, spiritual going up. As above, so below. It's a mirror and a vortex. So what you're going through this vortex, and you're looking for your better half, your wife or your man or your husband, whatever energy you in on Earth, you the opposite there. So if you're in your masculine here, you're looking for your wife there. If you're in your feminine here, you're looking for your husband there. You see? As above, so below, but it's still a mirror. It's still a mirror. Let us create man in our image. When it says us, it's everybody on the planet. Us. It's everybody. Let us create man in our image. So we're avatars. So what we did, we split ourselves into two, which represents the yin and that's why the yin and the yang symbol is one of the oldest symbols on the planet. Besides the Nazi symbol and the black sun's symbol. That's one of the oldest. That's one of the most ancient ones. So stop looking for your fucking soulmate at the church building. You ain't gonna find them there. You ain't gonna find them in the club. You ain't gonna find them walking to, you know what I mean, to the corner store. That ain't your cat. Only if he get himself together. I know that's why. If that's your soulmate, why you gotta get himself together? Because he ain't your soulmate. That I don't care how long you was married as a human. 30 years, 40 years, that's my husband, that's my wife. No, it ain't. No, it ain't. It's not. It's not your wife and it's not your husband. This is the advancement we have to take. Brother Bobby Hemmitt and Brother Panics and Brother, we gotta take these brothers shit to the next level, because that's what they would want niggas to do. They don't want us stuck on the shit that they was talking about. We gotta take it higher. We are, and then whoever come after us, they gotta take it higher till we up out of this shit. It's just role playing. All this shit that we doing on this planet, to tell you the truth, we're all really just brothers and sisters. I don't get all the other role shit. That's just role playing. All the other shit that we do, that's just role playing. The aunts, the moms, the daughters, the sons, the cousins, all that's role playing. Our souls are brothers and sisters. That's why even when you go to church with your mom or your dad, that's your brother and your sister in Christ still, even though they're your earthly mom or your earthly parents. You see how that shit don't make sense? You can only go to one or the other. It's spiritual. We're spiritual beings first, so your mom and your dad is really your brother and your sister. Let us create man in our image. Those are brothers and sisters saying that shit. That's why every spiritual system, I don't care if it's Satanism, Christianity, Judaism, they all refer to each other as brothers and sisters. Because when you're in a spiritual system, it's equality. A spiritual system really represents, a true spiritual system really represents equality. Because we're all brothers and sisters. So we gotta take this shit to a higher level. Everybody was right and everybody was wrong. Everybody was right and everybody was wrong. All right? We gotta take this shit to a higher frequency. We can't stay on this same shit. We can't be out here still trying to find our. That's why all this shit sound mindless when I'm scrolling through social media. I hear about all these relationship problems. You got relationship problems because you're cultivating the wrong relationship. You're cultivating the wrong relationship. You're not supposed to be, oh, how can we be a better husband to? No, you're just being a better spiritual homo. You're just being another spiritual homo. That's what you're doing because you're cultivating the wrong relationship. Like they say, put God first. That's put your own soul and your own mental health and consciousness before anyone else. Because you ain't going to be a help to no one else if your own soul and own consciousness and own mental health is all fucked up. Who could you help? You can't help yourself or nobody else. The relationship to self, which is that Christ in you or that Buddha in you or whatever the fuck you think the higher power is that's in you, that's your husband, that's your wife. And that's it. No one else. No one else. If you think it's someone else, you're a homo. That's the real homosexuality the scriptures is talking about. Because you don't leave no room to call. If you're so embedded into a human relationship, you barely have time to cultivate anything for yourself. Your own, you got to sit with yourself and cultivate that relationship with the inner you. Be selfish for the, yeah, that's perfect. Be right. That's a beautiful analogy. Yeah, be selfish for the right reason. Don't be a selfish person for the wrong reason. Facts. That's balance. You see that? That's beautiful. Charles Wilson, that's beautiful, brother. Be selfish for the right reasons. Don't be a selfish person for the wrong reason. That's beautiful. You see that? Damn, y'all niggas is on it. You see, we gotta take this shit to a higher level, y'all. We can't be left in it. We can't keep doing this shit. This is some shit we need to leave in 2023. This old way of thinking. Now it's time to renew our minds and up our consciousness now. We was doing these rituals and shit for a long time for a reason. Shit, the scriptures tell you it's only one mother and one father. So our earthly moms and our own earthly fathers aren't our real moms and fathers, y'all. As much as we play the role, they're not. I'm sorry. That's the harsh reality that we have to face, and that's what's going to free us from this shit that we in. Because you're not going to be held accountable for all the bullshit that come with trying to cultivate a human relationship and think that's what God wants you to do. God don't want you to thinking about no human relationship, no human. When the scriptures is talking about a wife and a husband, it is not talking about no damn human wife and husband. It just used that as examples. Don't mean that you have to do it as a civilization. You just got to understand what your soul, what does that mean to your soul? Because people still getting effed up. The scriptures is more of a spiritual text than it is history. It's more allegory than it is historical fact. It's more allegory than it is historical fact. Let's just keep it real. Even down to our human traditions. Our human traditions don't mean shit in the grand scheme of things. It's all about what your soul, how you cultivate in your soul, because that's the only thing that's going to save you. The Christ in you is the only thing that's going to save you. Not nothing. It ain't nothing coming in the sky. It ain't nothing that's coming in the church building. It's nothing that's out there on the street. You know what I mean? That's going to save you. When they talk about the second coming, that's happening within you. So at this point, anybody who's a human is a so-called, what Hemmitt is talking about, is an Eminem or a Elvis or the human period. The human period. Like, you know what I mean? The human period. And it's, you gotta think about how fast the human life is. So how you gonna be judged? Just think about the people who think you're gonna be judged on your earthly marriage, and that's going to determine whether you get into heaven or hell. Some people don't even get enough time to even correct the shit that they had with their earthly spouse, due to many reasons. That wouldn't even be a fair judgment. How could you even make a fair judgment? The only one that makes sense and that would be constant, something that's constant, something that will be always, as far as a marriage, would be cultivating a marriage within yourself. That would be the only one that would be eternal, because you gotta live with yourself forever. So if you gotta live with yourself forever, that's your motherfucking husband. That's your wife. Yourself. You'll marry a human, and that human could die before you. Y'all could have died having a fight that night, and y'all ain't even get time to even rehash things. How you gonna get judged by the Most High on a relationship like that, and you ain't even get enough time to even cultivate that shit because you're human? Unexpected things happen to humans. How the fuck you gonna get a fair judgment out of that? The only judgment that comes on Judgment Day is in your consciousness, in your mind. The only marriage you're not supposed to F up is the one that's in you. Your divine masculine and your divine feminine coming together. Shit, listen to the Prince song, When Doves Cry. It's talking about the divine feminine and the divine masculine. It ain't talking about no earthly, relationship, y'all. It's not talking about no Papoose and Remy Ma relationship. That's not talking about Papoose and Remy Ma. That's not talking about Cardi B and Offset. That's an inner battle between your divine masculine and your divine feminine. That's why Prince metaphysically dressed androgynous, to show that. See, Prince's whole thing was spiritual. It was like he was doing his what do you call that? What do you call that when they go on their spiritual journeys? What you call that shit when people go on these spiritual journeys? Anyway, that's basically his whole thing was, the whole androgynous thing, the whole divine feminine and divine masculine things. That's why the song When Doves Cry is important. And Purple Rain. Purple Rain is talking about the crown chakra, because the crown chakra is, you know what I'm saying? It's basically talking, because red and blue equals royalty. Purple equals royalty. Everybody knows that spiritual wise, purple equals royalty. So that's both the red and the blue combining together. The two opposites becoming one. Two opposites becoming one. The divine masculine and the divine feminine becoming one. And the yin and the yang sign turns into an eyeball. One eye. Yeah, pilgrimage. Right. It's almost like a pilgrimage. Like, it's like they come here to do their holy work and then leave. That's basically what Prince did. Like, his whole career, all his songs, the movies, all of that was one big spiritual thing. If you really pay attention to what he was showing and what he was teaching through the music, through his image, through the messages he said on TV, all of that was part of a spiritual journey. So you got to think. Yeah, so we all make our pilgrimage here on earth. Our souls do. So we're all on the same spiritual journeys. It's all about what you do with it, though, and realize your twin flame is in you. All right? So even when we praying to all these different gods and all the ancestors and all that, we still didn't get it yet. We still don't get it yet. The only energy that you're supposed to be into is the energy that's in you. Not no other shit from, not all these damn altars and all this shit. All that, nah, none of that. You don't need none of that. All you need is your spiritual twin flame. That's it. You don't need no, you know what I mean? All them names, all of Isis, Osiris, Heru, Obatala, all those names you got to know and memorize when you go that direction. And then you got the other direction where you got to know all the other names. You know what I mean? The Matthew, Mark's, Luke's, and John's, the Isaiah's, the Jeremiah's. You got to know all these names. But guess what? If you actually know, you only need one name, the name that's in you, the I am. That's the only name you need. You don't need any of that other shit. You don't need nothing else. You don't need to be praying to nothing else. The only thing you need is the I am. When that nigga Moses went up there on that mountaintop, who should I tell the people you are? Just say, I am that I am, nigga. I am. That's it. Nothing else. F everything else. F everything else. Because once you get that in check, everything else is going to fall in the line equally. It's going to be in alignment. So the shit that you're worrying about as a human is going to work itself out once you cultivate the Christ in you, or the whatever deity you think is a higher power. That higher power is in you. Whether you think you are Obatala or Osiris, whatever the hell you think you are. I mean, niggas love the sound of these names. They love the sound of these names. Yo, JR, man, you still there?
Yeah, we about to get up off here, yo.
Yeah, we about to get up out of here.
Yeah, because we've been on here long enough. So we definitely gonna do a part 2 to this. You know what I mean? So make sure y'all stay tuned. We're gonna do a part 2 to this as well.
Yeah, it was another segment that we were supposed to
yeah, we're gonna do another segment of this, all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right, we about to get up out of here, y'all.
Hey, Redman is in the building. If you got pain, you suffer from anxiety, go get your CBD smokes, CBD gummies, and CBD oils at nightanddaycbdhub.com.